As prices rise on just about everything, most people are paying very close attention to their budgets and where their money is going. Peter Sashaki from Everything Financial joins us more on what we should be asking our financial advisor. You must be busy during this time.
It's always busy, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So first question, should a portfolio for a $50,000 client be the same as a $1 million client?
Basically, yes. The contents of the portfolio should be the same. And there's a saying that says you only have one good idea, one best idea. So they may have a different percentage of this company or that company or whatever the case may be. But if it's good to buy ABC and XYZ company for one client, who's got 50,000, why shouldn't it be for the other? And the shocking thing is, and we hear these stories, I heard this last week, brought this up. You go into the bank and suddenly you have $250,000 and they go, we've got a new person for you. This one, what was wrong with the old person? Did they not know what they were doing that suddenly I need a new person because I have more money? Doesn't make any sense.
If you call a meeting with your advisor and they suggest changing your portfolio, what would have happened if that meeting didn't happen?
Yeah, and this happened with a viewer from the show who called in. They said they called, they wanted to go in and know what's going on, and suddenly you should change this, you should change that. What happened if you didn't call? Was suddenly what I had good enough and now suddenly it's good? So be wary of change for the sake of change. Just moving investments or different mutual funds around just to look like they're doing something. That doesn't make sense. And that's with what happens with passive management, where they're just picking funds, where active portfolio managers are changing without you even asking because they're a fiduciary. They're doing what's already in your best interest.
I want to talk about fund picking in a moment, but I also want to ask you, when clients now are approaching you and saying, I need to cut my monthly budget by, like, say, $200, $300, where should they cut? Should they stop their RSP? Do you get them say, don't travel as much, or discretionary income? What do you tell them?
Get your plan updated and look for things that can cause tax savings, because maybe you can save more money on tax savings doing different things by doing it differently. Because what some people do, this is an interesting one you said about RSPs. Some people, and we've talked about this so many times, Jason, they put too much money into RSPs. So instead of getting, say, 40% back on their taxes, they might drop down to 38 or a 32% tax bracket. And they think that's better because I'm paying less tax. They're actually getting less of a refund. So that money could be right in front of you with redoing how you are spending RSPs, and maybe actually cutting back will get you more money on your taxes and still look after your retirement at the same time.
So you'd actually advise someone says that right now, $500 RSPs, can I cut that back to 100?
You might be okay, because you know what else too? You got to live for today. You plan for tomorrow, but you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and God forbid tomorrow doesn't come.
Yeah.
Like, you have to plan for tomorrow, but you don't have to achieve your goals of retirement when you're 42 years old. Like, you could be a little bit behind pace right now for the next year or two until inflation and things get back in line. And if inflation has been going down already, with the last numbers out, it was lower than it was in May by a little bit, but better than nothing. So, you know, there is a bright light on the horizon. It's not a train coming at you. Things will get better. I know Carrie calls me Mr. Silver Lining, but they will. We go through these periods. We've been through them so many times before I can't even count. It will get better. So taking a step back might allow you to take 3 steps forward in the future.
30 seconds real quick. Difference between fund picking and discretionary active management.
So active management is actually designing the portfolio for you, as opposed to looking backwards and say, geez, what did really well last year? And that's what fund picking is. They're selling on past results. The measure of a good portfolio manager, or even a good registered financial planner, is not what the portfolio made you last year. It's what it saved you last year and didn't lose you. And that's where active portfolio management really shines.
Mr. Silver Lining, thanks for joining us.
All
Carrie's back next week with you.